This is QTV News. I am Mamadou Gajaga. Thanks for joining us. Coming up tonight, a visiting delegation from the Gambia River Basin Development Organization, OMVG, on Tuesday met President Barrow. Operatives of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the Gambia have arrested 3 Bissau Guineans with suspected cocaine. The people of Foni have condemned the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Touré, for what they called her unsubstantiated claims. For more on this and other stories, stay tuned. Welcome and thanks for joining us. A visiting delegation from the Gambia River Basin Development Organization, OMVG, on Tuesday met President Barrow, who doubles as the organization's chairman of the Conference of Heads of States. The delegation was led to the State House by the Environment Minister, Lamin Diba. He spoke to waiting reporters.
You will all recall that last year, the same team was here by the High Commissioner and the Council of Ministers chairperson to brief His Excellency, the President, who is also the chair of the Conference of Heads of State, on the progress of the OMVG energy project and the launching of the OMVG energy project in the Gambia, which he launched on the 23rd of February this year. And since then, some serious progress have been taken, and all other member countries also some progress have been made. And we've also realized that some of the dams are already in operation. And the issue that we asked the heads of states to meet to resolve is the issue of the tariffs. And that is what requires a political decision from the heads of states. So that is the request that the High Commissioner put to His Excellency as the chair of the Conference of Heads of States to convene heads of states meetings so that those could be taken off. Because even if we have the loop completed, the transmission line completed, we can have electricity in the Gambia, which is envisaged by September 2020.
Operatives of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the Gambia have arrested 3 Guinea-Bissauians with suspected cocaine over the weekend. According to officials, this is the 3rd arrest of Guinea-Bissau nationals in a month. Babakar C has the rest of that story.
Officials say the 3 suspects were arrested on different days, 2 while entering through the Jiboro border and the 3rd Malam Sanyang at Banjul International Airport, believed to be heading to Las Palmas. Brahma Buaro, another suspect, was arrested carrying 104 pellets of suspected drug concealed in hand luggage and with documents that showed he was planning to catch a flight to Portugal. Usman Seidiba, spokesperson of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, said illicit drug abuse and trafficking continue to pose serious threats to national development, socio-cultural and religious lifestyles and values. He added that his officers will not relent in combating all forms of drug-related issues in the country.
The person is a Bissau national who was traveling to Las Palmas. And this is important to know that this is the 3rd of such case within this month. Previously, 2 other Bissau nationals, all with valid European passport, were also nabbed at the Jibora border crossing point. So this person also is arrested with about 105 pellets of cocaine. He's presently in custody while the investigation continues. So this shows that the West African sub-region remains vulnerable, and we all have to be on heightened alert. So therefore, we call on all and sundry to complement government effort, because we cannot do it alone. We cannot be everywhere and at every time. And it's also the responsibility of every person who is in a position of authority within our homes and our communities to come together collectively and ensure that our society and our communities are safe.
The PRO said there are indications that the country can be used as a transit point for drugs coming from South America and some parts of Africa to the targeted markets in Europe and USA. He added that it is imperative to prepare well in terms of both human capacity and equipment to respond adequately to the illegal and clandestine activities of these organizations. Babukar C, QTV News.
In a related development, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency is engaging restaurant, bars and nightclub owners to find ways of combating the usage of drugs in their premises. According to Usman Sediba, discussions are at an advanced stage and progress has been made to free these public places of drugs.
We decided to engage those who are responsible for the management of these premises, these nightclubs, or restaurants or business entities within that area. We made it very clear to them that this is something that will not be allowed, that cannot be condoned, and they also were very much cooperative in the course of our discussion, because it's to the interest of all of us. Because what we are looking at is that in as much as we promote and encourage investment, we in no way want to tolerate or condone any activity or business that undermine what holds our society together, and that one thing is drugs. And from here, we also want to make this known to almost everybody that Section 40 and 41 respectively of the Drug Control Act prohibits the person who is allowed with the management of any premise to allow or falter any such activity to take place within their premise. They could also be liable for forfeiture, and they could also be charged for permitting. So therefore, let us take note of this and let us act very responsibly. Let us promote our business. Let's promote our business ideas. Let us market our institutions, give it a unique face or unique identity, but not in a way that promotes the open abuse of drugs.
The people of Foni have condemned the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, for what they called her unsubstantiated claim that they were enjoying free electricity and rice under former President Yahya Jammeh. Aliou Cissé reports.
Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure claimed that the people of Foni were enjoying free electricity, water and rice under former President Jammeh when other Gambians were denied. VP Toure says the people of Foni have a right to claim they have been marginalized under the current government, but
the democracy also to say that the whole Gambia was denied water and light when they were enjoying water and light. Rice was free when it was not free to us. And it's in the same country, we are all Gambians.
Her comments floored the intervention of the National Assembly member for Foni Councillor Musa Amon Nyasi during the debate on the President's State of the Nation address. Honorable Nyasi, among other national issues, frowned at what he sees as discrimination against the people of Foni by the government of President Adama Barrow. He cited the different alleged manslaughter incidents in Foni which were not highlighted by the President in his statement. The former President Yahya Jammeh, now exiled in Equatorial Guinea, hailed from Kanela in Foni.
A leader we anticipated would be seen playing fairly in the midst of the people he is leading. But what did we see? Marginalization and selective justice. Particularly in the region of Foni, we have equal share to the national cake. We have equal share to the resources of this country. And we must be seen, treated in that dimension.
VP Toure used the session to advocate for unity and forgiveness.
We are emerging from a very, very hard time. And the revelations that have been made in the TRRC is enough for us to be open and embrace each other. Let us embrace each other. It's a very extraordinary situation in this country. Let us love each other. Let us appreciate each other. Let us try as much as possible and protect this chain. And it is us, you and we, the legislature, the executive, judicature, who should be shining examples of this.
Unhappy natives of Foni took to social media to condemn VP Toure, refuting her claims, adding that they were paying for service like other Gambians. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
We will go with a short commercial break, and the news continues when we return.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is QTV News. A regional open day on gender, women, youth, peace and security was organized by the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare in collaboration with the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel. Jennifer Sonko has more details.
There are national requirements to assess the implementation of the UN Security Council's resolution from 2000 on women, youth, peace and security. As such, the forum provided a platform for women and youth leaders to exchange views with senior regional leaders and UN officials on their experiences, concerns and priorities. Gambia's Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure says the event is expected to contribute to national and regional conflict prevention
and resolution efforts, and to inform and influence policies and programs related to the implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 1325-2000 and subsequent resolutions.
The Minister of Women's Affairs, Mrs. Fatou Kinte, shares more.
It's always graced by the UN representative to West Africa and the Sahel, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers. And it is a forum where countries in West Africa and the Sahel share experiences on work that they are doing to ensure peace and security in their countries. More especially, the role of women and young people in ensuring peace and security in their countries.
Lala Toure, a spoken word activist and participant, reflected on the impact of the open day.
These are very important because what we want to do as a people and as a country is to make sure that the voices of women are added in peace building, in reconciliation, in the truth-seeking process, and most importantly in the transitional justice process that we are undergoing as a country right now.
The program aims to share good practice and lessons learned, as well to define priorities for the coming year. 2 poems on the theme of the open day were shared by some participants.
And if I do not get the love in return, what I should then do? If I should fancy the pretty face or the beautiful body, the power of motherhood and the cradle you kept me, the honor in you raising my kids and how that makes me happy, the coldness of my bed and how I strip off your bikini, the skills in cooking in the kitchen and the misplatability, but believe me, that this is why we got it all wrong. But I should not love you for any of these. I should love you simply because you are a woman.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
A 2-day training course for 50 youth entrepreneurs was organized by the Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce. Lamin Dabo reports.
The event aims to create market linkages for Gambian startup business entrepreneurs to understand the basic standards and quality requirements of the hoteliers, supermarkets and restaurants to enable the local market to supply products and services. The board president of the Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce, Ismaila Sambu, says startups play an important role in the country's economy as a driver of economic growth, employment, diversification and transformation. He further explains that currently the Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce is making efforts to increase youth employment in the tourism sector.
As the tourism sector currently constitutes or creates 36,000 jobs, tourism is one of the few economic sectors that offers significant growth potentials. This is particularly important, is one of the few sectors able to provide paid employment as well as generate foreign exchange. That being the need to create a market linkage for our members to have access to the tourism market.
The CEO of Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce, Babukar Kebe, says access to markets is one of the biggest challenges faced by youth entrepreneurs.
Is the issue of middlemen. Because middlemen also really make these people challenge in terms of getting the amount of money or resources they will or revenue they will able to get from their sales of the products and services. So we're trying to see how they can really better package their product, and that is why next week we are rolling out a packaging training 2 weeks for 80 young entrepreneurs supported by the TechEV project. And we wanted to help them improve and enhance their productivity, their capacity to able to supply these hotels.
Marie-Madeleine Mendy, a participant and the CEO of MSP, the Kachoka Enterprise, said part of her expectations is to be able to improve the quality of her products.
Improve the quality of my products, where I can reach required qualities from the hotels and bigger markets. So these are things that I want to improve on, and also to connect with my fellow entrepreneurs. I can even partner with them if possible, and to know what we are doing as Gambians and to help each other as Gambians to improve in whatsoever we are doing.
Alaji Jaju, the program manager of the National Youth Council, said entrepreneurs need to know the requirements needed to provide products and services on a daily basis so as to be able to be successful.
So this particular training that you are having today should definitely serve as a cornerstone for you to understand what quality requirements are, be able to sell to the hotels. And once you're able to master this first step, you can move the ladder and be able to export to the market outside of the Gambia.
The Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce seeks to be the voice of young entrepreneurs in the Gambia and aims to mobilize young entrepreneurs in the country to improve their lives by giving them the voice and create market space. It provides national and regional exhibitions, training, business coaching programs, and life skills to help entrepreneurs succeed. For QTV News, Amin Alait Fandin Dabo.
Items worth thousands of dollars have been donated to Tanka Psychiatric Hospital by the Kinkiliba family, a group formed by youths that support the less fortunate in society. Malik Nyang reports.
The Kinkiliba family donated foodstuffs, clothes, and electrical accessories, amongst others. The donation is to improve the health condition of the mentally challenged individuals in the hospital. The acting president of the Kinkiliba family, Ismaila Bojang, said the reason for the donation.
You have young people that believe that they have enough and they are thankful of what God gave them, so they look back on to people that are less fortunate than we are, and we give back to them. We gather the little we can from fellows within ourselves and outsiders, and then we give it to anyone that we think is worthy. And this place is really one that we think we should look at.
Mr. Bojang urged fellow Gambians to give support to the psychiatric hospital so that patients can feel that they are not being neglected. Fanta Danso, a member of the Kinkiliba family, had this to say about the donation.
Kinkiliba family, we always come to this place like the Tanka. This year is our 10-year anniversary, so we are using this donation exercise as a way of celebrating our anniversary. So most people I know will have known about the Kinkiliba family. We are a youth group that focus on giving back to our community. So we believe that there are various ways of giving back to the society. So we took it upon ourselves to always visit places that we think need help. And Tanka, as my colleague said, we are daring everybody.
Accepting the donated items, Yankuba Suare, a mental health nurse, expressed his delight and spoke about the importance of such a donation.
I'm very, very happy and much obliged about the donation. And one thing impressed me is the concern they have for the facility. As you know, people here are vulnerable people, and the stigma on them we all know. And carrying them is one of the very important things we want. I'm very happy about what they're doing. This is the Gambian and these people, what they brought here, like the rice, the oil, the electric appliance, are very important. Like the government is doing at least the food, they're bringing food, but here it's free, it's not paid. Everything is free here. So the complement the effort is very important.
The Gambia health system is faced with many challenges, and the donated items will no doubt complement government's efforts in improving the health sector. Malik Nyang for QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin of the news, let's take a quick look at our main news stories. A visiting delegation from the Gambia River Basin Development Organization, OMVG, on Tuesday met President Barrow, who doubles as the organization's chairman of the Conference of Heads of States. The delegation was led to the State House by the Environment Minister Lamin Deba. Operatives of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the Gambia have arrested 3 Bissau Guineans with suspected cocaine over the weekend. According to officials, this is the 3rd arrest of Guinea-Bissau nationals in a month. The people of Foni have condemned the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Touré, for what they called her unsubstantiated claims that they were enjoying free electricity and rice under former President Jammeh. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Bye for now.